Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts a Tig, a Tig, a Tig. You know what I mean? And learning about the culture of a place, it takes everything. So this one is going to be one about Serbian men versus American men, and let's take it as lightheartedly. All right, this is this young lady's opinion of the vibe. We're gonna watch it, see what she say. I'm gonna put my input in here, and we're gonna vibe from there. Let's YouTube and simmer.
This is Wando here, and as an American girl in my 30s, well, I guess that makes me a woman. I'm a woman, American woman. Anyway, as an American girl, American woman in my 30s, who's been living in the Balkans for 4 years, traveling in the Balkans a total of 6 years, I have experienced dating, being friends with, and just knowing American men and Serbian men. So I thought I would present the differences between American men and Serbian men,
Okay.
generally speaking.
Yeah.
I'll say that one more time. Generally
Generally.
speaking.
My sister.
Okay? We good?
My sister,
Also,
yeah.
disclaimer, obviously, this is based on my experiences and those of my friends, their opinions as well, men and women. So Serbian men are that tall, dark, and handsome trope that I think so many women love so much. Whereas American men, obviously the United States is very diverse, so Americans come in all different looks and sizes and heights and shapes, but the average height for a Serbian man is much taller than the average height for American men. And hey, there's nothing wrong with being a shorter man, but I'm a tall chick, so I love being able to go out on a date. Like, let's say I'm on a Tinder date or I'm getting ready for a Tinder date. I know that I can wear high heels. I don't have to like ask that awkward question like, hey, how tall are you? Like, I know they're gonna be taller than me. Serbian men are...
Okay, here we go. The whole thing about taller men. Would somebody explain to me? They keep saying they like tall men, and I am here still single. I'm 7'1", the ultimate tall, the giant. What's the vibe? You know, of course, my experience is here, really, you know what I mean? So here in the US. So, but I know what it is. I'm tall, but I'm nice. And nice is considered weak. That's the meaning, the modern day meaning of nice, weak. So that could be it too, because I'm like nice and gentle and, you know, I like flowers and stuff. That could be the vibe right there, you know what I'm saying? Man, he's weak, but I don't know man stuff, you know what I mean? I do human stuff. No, no, they want human. They want an image of a, you know what I'm saying, I mean, of a man, you know, he's rugged, you know, ride bikes and, you know, have a roster of women. I know I'm just talking here, however, I'm talking, like she said, I'm talking from my experience and what I experience. Let's keep going here.
also into staying in really great shape. A lot of them are obsessed with a gym.
I forgot to say, if they're not obsessed with the gym, then they're regularly playing some sport. Like everyone plays water polo or basketball or football. World football, not American football.
I'm not saying that American men don't care about their bodies. There's obviously a huge community of people who are really into going to the gym and fitness and doing Tough Mudder, is that what it's called? Like CrossFit and shit. But like, that's a section of Americans. Whereas like in Serbia, it seems like it's everybody, like every man is obsessed with going to the gym. If they're not obsessed with going to the gym, they walk everywhere, so they care about their bodies a lot. And a lot of men, again, this is a generalization, but I feel like there's a lot of the population that makes sure that they don't, you know, let themselves go. But that ironically brings me into my next point. A huge difference between Serbian and American men is that so many Serbian men, and just Serbs in general, smoke. I hate smoking, I do. But I've lived here long enough where I'm just so used to it. I'm so used to it that I don't even think about it anymore. People smoking inside, people smoking in bars. It's a very European thing. Next difference is that American men actually
Is that true? Is that people smoke a lot in Serbia? Because I've noticed, I did a video on the kafanas, I think it's called, and people are sitting in there smoking and stuff like that. And let me put it to you this way. I never was a smoker. I tried a cigarette when I was a kid, and then I got married, except for Kentucky. She was a smoker. For the first 3 years of our marriage, I didn't smoke. I wouldn't even buy the cigarettes for her. But then I started to buy them, and next thing I know, I'm smoking, and I smoked for like 2 years, and I was like, oh man, every time I smoke cigarettes, I get lightheaded. I don't know why that is. It just does not vibe up with me. I don't mind if people are smoking. I just don't. It's not for me. You know what I mean? So I quit smoking again, and I didn't smoke for years. And then for some reason, about 2 or 3 years ago, I started smoking cigars, and then I was like, oh, I did this. I don't feel good when I smoke, so I quit smoking. But like she's saying in the comment section, tell me down below, is it a lot of people smoking there? You know what I mean? And since a lot of people are smoking there, if that's what's happening, is there a high case of lung cancer there? Hit me up in the comment section. Because maybe they smoke pure tobacco, which is not good to as far as I understand, but it's not as bad because I think what's causing the cancerous vibe in a lot of the cigarettes is the stuff they put in it, more so than the actual tobacco itself.
Are a little bit more romantic on the first or second date than Serbian men. Often on a first date, an American man will take you out for drinks, but you'll also get food. Maybe it won't be like a fancy dinner, but maybe you go out for drinks and you order like a nachos appetizer, or you go out for drinks and you order something that you guys can share. Or a lot of times they will just actually take you out to dinner. Whereas in Serbia, on a first date, second date, a guy will just take you out for drinks. Unless he really, really, really likes you. If a guy really likes you in Serbia, he will take you out to dinner. A guy
See, uh, maybe it's a tradition down there that's how they do it. Comment down below, tell me if that's true. But I personally, the way the world is today, it's a smart thing to take somebody else for drinks. If you don't drink an ice cream or coffee or something first, you understand what I mean? That stuff could be romantic too. Why do they think romance means fancy restaurant, fancy food, dinner, this, that? A simple ice cream date for a first date could be romantic too. You buy the ice cream, you go walk in a bloody flower garden. What more romantic than that? Why does it have to be a dress up and you go out and that's what romance is? You see, that's the problem in modern dating to a certain degree. And it I say modern dating because, that's what it seems like today, but it's probably been like this all along. Simple things, a picnic. And it ain't got to be some fancy spread neither. It could be a simple, nice, well done sandwich. You know what I mean? That could be a first date. And that's romantic because you're out in nature. You're not sitting in a bloody restaurant. You know what I mean? Man-made stuff. You take her out to nature. A hike. A first date could be a nice little hike on a beach through a rainforest. Nothing rigorous, but something nice. Birds in the background. You know what I'm saying? We lost that. We lost that. It's got to be, oh, it's a romantic date if you take it to a restaurant. Blah, blah, blah. Romance could be anywhere. You could be sitting in your backyard eating roast corn and talking and getting to know each other, and that can be romantic. But then again, I'm from the third world. We do those things. You understand what I'm saying?
has taken me out to dinner here a couple of times, and one of them turned into my ex-boyfriend, and the other one I dated for a while, and we had like a really good thing going for a while. So I think they have to really, really like you to take you out to dinner on a first or a second date. Whereas in America, even if they don't really, really like you, or they don't really know what to think of you yet, because maybe it's like a Tinder date or something, you'll still get guys taking you out to dinner on a first date.
Because it's a game. It's a game to them. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not all men. I'm not generalizing here, but it's part of the game that people play when they dated, you know what I mean? You know, take her out on a nice date, impress her, you know what I mean? With things. Impress her with things. You don't need a fancy restaurant to get to know somebody. You don't need a restaurant to get to know somebody. And of course, restaurants these days are loud and noisy and stuff like that, and all kind of stuff going on. You understand what I'm saying? Oh yeah, a nice little walk, like I said, in a flower garden. Come on now. That might seem kind of a meek and weak and stuff, but you know, nice and quiet. You actually get to know each other instead of eating fancy
I
food.
miss that. Next difference is when a guy tries to pick up a girl, maybe hit on a girl at a bar. In the United States, American men have the mentality of it's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, no girl's gonna just go home with you immediately if you go up to her and you're like, hey, how are you? What's your name? What is your job? Wanna come back to my apartment? That is, however, how a lot of men are in Serbia when they go to pick up girls. Like they're just so forward. They don't try to make the girl feel comfortable with conversation. Again, this is generally speaking. I'm not saying all.
What are you talking about, lady? I've been in bars in this bad boy. I've seen a dude walk up to a girl and said, I got pizza and Coke. You want to go back to my place? Okay. I have had girls follow me back to this apartment. Go to use my bathroom, come out of my apartment, voila, there they are, ready to go. So what are you talking about? Your experience, I understand that, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Guys go to bars to pick girls up and have fun. Period. I've been to enough bars in this place and talked to enough guys to understand them. They buy them drinks and stuff and they expect something out of it. You know what I mean? They're not, what she's saying that guys are forward. They're forward here too. You know what I mean? And if they're not forward, they're playing the game. They're playing the game. They're playing the game to get to what they want. Come on now, come on now. And I'm talking about my experience. Like she said, I'm not generalizing, but the fact is, and if you sit down with guys and talk to them, that's exactly what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. And I've been around all different types of guys. Guys that are good guys that are bad boys, guys in the middle. If they go to a bar, the guys in the middle, they don't go to bars for that very reason. Because it's a pickup joint. You know what I mean? And they may beat around the bush, but it's ultimately one vibe in a bar anymore.
All guys are like this, but I'm saying there's a hell of a lot more guys like this than in the United States. Like they don't want to get to know you. They, they'll ask you a bunch of basic questions and then they'll go in for the hard sell really quickly. Like the amount of times a guy has
That's
said
what
to me,
a bar
like,
is for.
in a fucking bar, when we've been talking for maybe like 5 minutes and then his next sentence is, so you want to have sex with me or come back to my place? Let's go back to my place. And it's like, what the hell, dude? I literally
Straight to the point. You understand what I mean? Maybe, and y'all might think it's creepy, but that's what you get when you go to a bar. Anywhere in this world. Guys ain't going to bars to find wifeys. They're going to have a good time. You understand what I'm saying? Anywhere in this world is like that, really. You know what I'm saying? I think in certain cultures, guys are a little bit more cautious to how they approach it because of the culture they're in, because they don't want to be called creepy or crazy or stuff like that. But in a bar, that's what it is. I've hung out in enough bars over the years to realize that that's why I don't go to them. It's pickup joints. That's what it is. It's the same way here. You know, they just take the long way around. You know what I mean? They feel you out first here, you know. They're not really getting to know you. That's why when people meet people in bars and then they start dating them, they go, well, he's different. Yeah, because he, like, who said that? Chris Tucker, I think, says when they come and they approach you, that's their representative. It's not them. It's their cultural representative. They say what they want, what you want to hear, period. Especially in a bar.
don't even know your name. Like, chill the fuck out, calm down, slow your roll. American men definitely play the game better. Like they will talk to a
Better,
girl
it's the same end
all night if
result.
they have to get her to feel comfortable, get her to feel like, oh, this guy respects me. He's
No, he don't.
nice. I feel safe with him. I feel
No, he don't.
comfortable with him, and then they'll try to sleep with her. I just want to say that this is my experience. So I don't know if
She just said
Serbian
it.
guys are kind of a little bit more respectful to
the
Serbian
same
women,
way.
but when they see a black woman who's not from here, or someone who's American, someone who's not from Serbia, maybe they think Western women are more kind of liberal, sexually liberated.
Exactly. Listen, man, I'm from an island, and it's the kind of thing that they portray when they come to the island. There's movies about it. Stella got a groove back. That movie. Who was in that? Trey Diggs was in that. There's a whole movie about that. Stella got a groove back. She went to the Caribbean, you know what I mean? And boom, this handsome, local boy gave her groove back. Because a lot of people go to foreign countries with that mentality, so that's why they get treated that way. And we see that happening. I'll give you some examples from my own experience here. Okay, there's also an Eddie Murphy joke, you know what I mean, where he says, don't let your wife go to the Caribbean, boy. They go down there and they meet Dexter, and Dexter come down there just swinging, and he's gonna, Okay, my mom had friends, and this people was from Europe. This lady was from Europe. She was there just having fun. You understand what I'm saying? Go there, meet a Rasta on the beach, bada bing, bada boom. So this is what the locals are hearing about those women. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? So instead of treating each individual as an individual, they just treat them all like the same. What they gonna? I mean, the idea is this: I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'll never see her again anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, if she get offended or not. It's wrong. I have never done it, but I've seen people do it. You understand what I'm saying?
So maybe they think like, oh, she'll come home with me on this night that I just met her and I don't have to impress her. But from speaking with my local female friends that are Serbian, I don't think it's just that. Serbs are also very blunt, unlike American men.
Yeah,
For
straight
example, a
up.
Serbian dude might point out that looks like you've gained a little bit of weight. Again, this is a generalization, but this has happened to me enough times with Serbian men where I know it's more common that you will find blunt Serbian men like this, whereas American men don't do that unless they're like a condescending narcissist. Usually American men understand that, oh, it looks like she's gained a little bit of weight, but she probably feels like shit about that. So I'm not going to make her feel like even more shit by bringing something to her attention that she already knows and feels like shit about. Whereas guys here can just be very blunt and not care.
Listen, I have had to hold back my bluntness since I got here. I have had to bite my tongue, and I tell you, when you bite your tongue, and here's the thing: there's blunt, and there's just gently saying the truth as it is. I'm not going to tell somebody about their weight straight up because I don't really care about stuff like that. That doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I could tell, people care about stuff like that. Like you meet somebody, they gain a little bit of weight. So what? You fell in love with something else besides the weight. You understand what I mean? So that doesn't affect me. But on other fronts, I had to stop being blunt because I used to be so straightforward because I was used to being straightforward, from the culture I came from. This is how I feel. Like, for instance, okay, if I like a girl, I tell them straight up. I don't beat around the bush and da 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 da. Da. Hey, this is what I'm doing here. I like you. I like what I see because I don't just walk up to a strange girl and tell them I like them. I like check them out. You know what I mean? I'm not in a creepy way. And I talk to them sometimes. I talk to them, try to figure out who they are, and if I have that vibe, that's the vibe I'm coming with. I'm not beating around the bush, and I never do. And for some reason, that's a turn off to women. If you tell them, hey, this is what I'm interested in, oh my God, there's a time frame for this and a time frame for that, and you call now, or you wait a couple of days. What is up with all of that stuff there? If you see somebody you're interested, you let them know. You waste less time that way. If they walk away, they weren't meant to be. And I'm not saying say stuff to creep them out. That's not the point. But say how you feel. Say it within the parameters of not making them feel uncomfortable. If they feel uncomfortable when you say it, then they're not interested in
you. Next difference is American men in the dating phase, I think, are more communicative, more open with their feelings. They show their cards on the table more, whereas Serbian men, I think, wear things closer to the chest. They don't, generally speaking, kind of open up about like too much. Like the dating phase is just like for fun and activities and maybe just drinks, going out. So I think American men can be kind of quicker to open up with a girl in the dating phase and kind of let his guard down a little bit more about who he is, his past, his family, his struggles, things like that. Next, Serbs.
It's because it's part of the game. It's part of the game, yo. I'm not really generalizing, but I've seen, okay, you go on Facebook here, people, you see guys with pictures of their kids and their family and this and that, because that's what the girl's going to go for. Some of them don't even see their bloody kids. And I'm talking about from observing the vibe, and it's part of the game to show that you're a good family, man. Like that's something else about me too. I rarely talk about my kids and grandkids or anything like that on Facebook, or even when I meet people. Hey, you lay everything out on the table, then you don't have anything to talk about at all. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I open up about me, what I am, who I am, what I like, the respect I deserve, the respect that I'm going to give. That's the kind of stuff that's important. You know what I mean? The family stuff and all that other stuff to open up about, that just comes in naturally later. You understand what I'm saying? Because first of all, I'm not going to tell you about my family if I don't know I want to introduce you to my family. Why am I going to tell you about my family if I don't think I'm going to introduce you to them? I'm protective of my family.
Are more conservative, whereas Americans are more kind of progressive in terms of their idea
when was this video
the
made?
Woman in the relationship. And again, this is generally speaking, don't like cry in the comments. This is generally speaking, and it's generally fucking true because I've been here a long ass time. I've done the research. I think Serbs, in their mind, the woman in a relationship should play more traditional roles in the relationship. That man is like the man, the breadwinner. Even if she has a job, a career, I still think men kind of like women who are just super feminine, maybe not too outspoken, maybe not too progressive themselves. People are religious. Religion is important. Your reputation as a woman is important, and all these things. So it's like they will like it if she's kind of that balance between ambition, but still kind of that feminine woman who's like kind of take care of her man. Whereas I think American men are more progressive. Serbia is a really big kind of close-knit, family-oriented society, whereas the United States, women being more progressive, being more liberated or whatever, is a lot more socially acceptable. I feel like a lot of...
Come on now. Being feminine is not being less liberated. No, I don't believe in gender rules. I'm just saying, though. You could be feminine and still be liberated. My mom was real feminine, really liberated. Single mom, did all those stuff, made decisions, as strong as could be, but still feminine. But feminine in a way that, like for instance, she taught me how to cook because she said cooking is not woman's work. That's survival. Thank God I've been single since 1997 and I know how to cook properly and healthy to keep myself looking this young and this beautiful. But okay, I'll give you an example. And this is a real simplistic understanding of it. One of the things I had to get used to is that women don't wear dresses a lot here. You know what I'm saying? They do to a certain degree, but okay, I'm gonna speak from my own experience. Like the whole time I know my ex-wife, she had like two dresses. Like two. She's wearing a lot of dresses now. I don't know what it is. Every time I see her, she's wearing like a dress or so, a skirt or something. When I was married to her, she wasn't wearing none of that. It was jeans and t-shirts all the time. Most women are jeans and t-shirts all the time here. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when I first came here and I noticed that, I had to get used to that because I guess it's because climate too. You gotta take climate. They wear sundresses and stuff on the island a lot. It might have changed. I don't know. But dresses were the thing, and I had to get used to the jeans stuff when I came here. It's just a different cultural thing, and like I said, it could be the climate too. So
Men in America really, really like an independent, liberated bitch, in the Balkans,
no, they
Southeastern
don't.
Europe, period.
Times have changed, sister. I don't know when this was
I don't
vibed
think
up.
that's as attractive. So guys, do you have any differences that you've noticed if you spent time in both countries or been around?
Yeah, as far as I could understand, from everything I've learned through the comment section and through my lives, which I haven't done one in a while. I need to do one again here soon. But Serbia is very traditional as far as family is concerned and all of that. I wasn't raised in a traditional family. I was raised by a single mom. And I think I turned out pretty good. You understand what I mean? I don't think there's something called man stuff, manly stuff, and all of that. I just as human beings, I think a woman is quite, because I was raised by a single mom who made decisions and stuff like that. Women are quite capable of the same thing that men are. You know what I mean? And people are saying, well, women can't lift this and women can't lift that. That's because they had the whole idea of gender roles became more important. Think about it. A woman in a cave, the man goes to hunt and stuff like that, not because it's manly stuff, because he goes out and hunt to bring food. She's got to lift all the heavy stuff you think she's leaving it for when he comes home. And over the years, that sort of ability sort of took back seat, and then now they this way. You know what I mean? But now, it's kind of switching backwards because women are out there working and doing stuff and all of that. You know what I mean? Now, if I see a woman lifting something heavy, I'll go help. And some women take that the wrong way. But for me, if I see a guy lifting something heavy, I will help him too. Because I see human beings, period. You understand what I'm saying? This was quite interesting, but I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. And I know I talk a lot. I'm not going to apologize for that because I have no opinions on the vibe. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if she's on point as far as Serbian men is concerned. And if you're an American man in there, vibe up in the vibe with me and thing, and comment down below and tell me what you think. Hope you guys are having a great day. Enjoy life. Let life. Let's try to bring some peace in this world, okay?